Just another random thought I just had. You know how age plays a factor while you're in shape. Right now, currently, I'm 39 years old. So I've officially reached that age where, people start calling you Unc or OG a couple times. I haven't heard it too much, but I've heard it here and there, maybe so often. But nevertheless, I didn't have my first child until I was like 37 years old. So I realized by the time my kids are in school, and let's say I'm going to a PTA meeting or something like that, I'm going to be closer to my kids, like their peers' grandparents' age, more so than their parents' age. For, I'll say most of them. I might fit somewhere in that in between or so, but because some people at my age, especially nowadays, are already grandparents or whatever. But I realize how staying in shape, even when you're older, you don't have to feel like your age. I give an example. I was in the gym with one of my clients who was, going through his workouts at the gym. And the gym that I go to, every gym has like their regulars. People you see in there all the time, people who are consistent and stuff like that. So it's this older guy, like towards the end of, the session that we was having, we was talking to this older guy. I always see him, but I never ask his age. And so this dude can do some really like clean pull-ups, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to, get up on my pull-up game like that, for myself to be better. And I remember one time I just saw him just busting out, pull-ups like it was nothing. Me and one of my clients was talking to him. He was talking about, he sees me in the gym staying consistent and stuff like that, and he regularly works out, just to stay, mobile and stuff. Because a lot of people take stuff for granted, especially when you get older. Taking a bag of groceries or something like that. Just going to the grocery store and not have to walk with a cane or real slow, just be in the way, or just using one of those motorized carts and things like that. People take for granted, especially when they get older. And he was saying, oh yeah, I'm 79, I turned 80 in a month. This dude is 80 years old, busting out pull-ups like it's nothing. Right, better than me, I'm not gonna lie. And me and my client was like, damn. And this dude has lived 8 decades and still just putting out pull-ups like it's no problem. Like, he doesn't, I guarantee you, he probably doesn't feel like he's 80 years old. And that's another thing. According to science, once men reach around the age of like, their mid-30s, 32, 35 or whatever, you're supposed to be losing like 1% of muscle every year. You start deteriorating. Now, if you've never worked out, or even if you have and you just fell off, you can basically reverse the deterioration of your muscles. I know from personal experience. I've never set foot in a gym until I was about, 32, 33? So basically like my mid-30s. Never stepped foot in the gym to work out and stuff like that. And since then, all I have done is gain muscle. So you can literally add more muscle than you're losing if you stay consistent and you start taking your fitness serious in the gym. You can literally reverse the natural aging process. Now, I'm not saying once you reach, 96, you still gonna be adding, but you're gonna be probably nowhere near the people around your age and be in much better shape and condition. So I just say all of that to say, you start treating your body good now, it's gonna serve you for a long time to come in the long run.